Hi, I'm Mark Moyes from Darnsock Productions. I'm the writer and programmer of Loose Strands, our first book app. And what we want to do in this series of videos is explain to you why we chose to do a book app instead of just publishing a normal paper book. In this particular video, we're going to talk about some of the things that make Loose Strands a little bit more game-like. So when you get about a third of the way through, all of a sudden things start to change a little bit in Loose Strands, and it behaves differently. And it's because at this point in the story, Roland has actually been outside a few times, and he's met a friend named Becky who's sort of helped him exploring around the house. And he's realized that someone is keeping his family trapped in this barber shop. And he's not really sure why. His parents won't tell him any details, and there's a good reason for that. I won't go into it. But at this point in the story, he realizes that he's heard all these sounds in the basement, these noisy sounds, and he's never been in the basement. He suspects, he has a good reason to think that, some of the answers are going to be in the basement. As you're moving from page to page, and as you know from the first video that we made, some of the pages may be down instead of to the right, or they may be up. If you choose to move down, you'll actually be moving down or south in physical space on this map of the house. So at one point you may get the choice to move to go into the washroom and explore and see what's in the washroom. And if you do that, if you choose the down option, if you bring up the map, then you'll see that you've actually moved into the washroom in the layout of the house. As Roland, you make choices. You have to find this key to the basement in order to sneak in and find these answers. And so this is a part of the book that really behaves a little bit differently. Up until this point, you've been making choices, but you haven't reached a point where you absolutely cannot go any further without accomplishing an objective. So just like you have objectives in any of the video games you've ever played in your life, to get past level 1, you need to do this one thing. In Loose Strands, in part 2, there's a similar thing where you have to find this key. So you might find the door to the basement before you actually find the key, in which case you won't be able to go into the basement. You'll have to go back through your earlier choices and take different paths to find where this key is. But rather than having to swipe through dozens of pages, swipe backwards, and backtrack through all these different pages, what we've done is we've given the map a functionality where you can open it up and go to any place on the map you've already visited, so it could be another floor, and jump back to that point. And then you can take a different path, and it makes exploring the house a lot easier. We've created these little puzzles, these little side quests, that you get clues, and you can only solve them by actually looking at the map. So there may be, something's under a couch or something. Then you have to check the map to find out where the couch is, and then there's some special things that you have to do on that page to figure out how to actually find those items.